And tonight's special live phone interview features the director of the upcoming documentary Murder Rap Inside the Biggie and Tupac Murderers, Mike Dorsey. Detective Greg Kading, who was assigned to investigate these homicides, is also on the line. Hello, gentlemen. How are you guys tonight?
Doing great. Thanks a lot for having us.
First and foremost, I want to thank you guys for giving us a call at midnight to KCI Studios here in downtown Tucson. We really appreciate it. It means a lot to us here, and once again, thank you.
No problem. This is the first radio interview that we've given for the film, actually. So you guys are the first ones.
All right, that's good. That's an honor.
That's right.
If you guys would like, please introduce yourself to all the listeners, history of your careers and all that.
Sure. I'm filmmaker Mike Dorsey. I do mainly true crime documentaries, and then Greg can introduce himself.
Hello, Greg Kading. I'm a retired LAPD. I had the opportunity to work on these murder cases a few years back and wrote a book about it called Murder Rap, and then Mike made a movie about it.
Mr. Kading, what year were you assigned to investigate these homicides?
Started in 2006 as a result of the lawsuit against the city of Los Angeles that was posed by Valletta Wallace and the Biggie Smalls estate. So I started in 2006 and worked it for about 3.5 years.
So you're familiar with Russell Poole?
I am.
Okay, yeah. He was one of the first people that started investigating, correct? And he got booted off, if I'm correct?
Well, I wouldn't say that he got booted out. He was one of the original investigators back in 1997. He worked it for just under a year, and then he was transferred off the case because of a personnel complaint against him. But he had relatively limited involvement in the case.
Okay, yeah. And the documentary is basically a visual, like you said, of your book, which was released in 2011.
That's right, 2011.
And Mr. Dorsey, can you describe your experience filming this documentary? Did you see anything that shocked you, or?
Well, I think the best thing about it was, when I contacted Greg about his book and said it sounded interesting because I'd seen an article about it, I think in LA Weekly. He sent me a copy of it, and I read the book, and then I thought, man, if we could make, a documentary version of this, that would be amazing. So it wasn't so much that I found stuff that was shocking, because really the film is a film version of the book, but mainly it's about getting to actually show people the evidence that in the book Greg could only talk about. So when you actually hear people on tape in the interviews that Greg quotes in his book, I think it's just a lot more powerful.
This documentary will be very different from others released in the past, because I've seen a lot of documentaries and
sure.
it lacks a lot of information, so I'm very excited to watch this film.
I think one of the big things that separates this film from some of the ones before is the amount of information that we had to work with. We had access to a lot of the case files that no one else has had access to before. So a lot of other people out there, conspiracy theorists and stuff, they have access to limited information, and from that they have to extrapolate, these kind of wild theories based on a very small, piece of the puzzle. And we had pretty much the entire puzzle to work with. So I think it's just a lot richer, and I think it makes a much more compelling case than has probably been made by anybody else.
And there's a tape confession scene in the film. Can you tell us a little bit about that and what homicide it relates to?
Sure, Greg can tell you all about that.
There's a tape confession that we use, and primarily it's focused on the Tupac Shakur murder. One of the co-conspirators in that murder confessed to his involvement. But that same individual was also interviewed about the Biggie Smalls murder because he was a suspect in that for a period of time. So we have confessions from several of the co-conspirators.
I've heard rumors that Biggie Smalls was affiliated with the Crips, or was Puff Daddy affiliated with the Crip from Los Angeles?
He was. He utilized the Crips to create a layer of protection because he was at odds with Suge Knight and Suge's Blood entourage. So he hired these Crips to kind of, create a layer of insulation when he was out here in Los Angeles at video shoots and at concert venues.
Mm.
Yeah, they weren't, like official security, like his professional guys that he had, his professional team of security people, but they were like Reggie Wright Jr. in our movie refers to them as homeboy security.
Mm.
They were guys from the street who would recognize other gang members that, professional security wouldn't be able to recognize because they didn't grow up in Compton. So they could be able to, hey, there's some guys over there in the crowd, keep an eye on those guys. That kind of stuff.
Well, what is the release date for Murder Rap Inside the Biggie and Tupac Murderers? Do you have a date yet?
We don't yet. The film has distribution with a big distributor. It's the same distributor that just put out the Going Clear documentary that was on HBO about Scientology a few months ago. And it's also the same distributor of Nick Broomfield's Biggie and Tupac documentary, coincidentally. So we're pretty stoked. We just signed that deal with them a couple of months ago, and we're just, they're out there selling the film now, and there's all those deals that have to be done. So we're waiting for a release date, but in the meantime, we have a Facebook page up where we're posting updates and clips and trailers and stuff like that.
Please share some of your links to your Facebook, YouTube, and the websites.
Yeah, if you go on YouTube and search for Murder Rap Inside the Biggie and Tupac Murders, you should find our page there. And then on Facebook, it's facebook.com/mrapmovie. Apparently, I don't think they let you put the word murder in a Facebook page name, unfortunately, but it's mrapmovie on Facebook.
The Facebook is Murder Rap Inside the Biggie and Tupac Murderers. Mr. Kading, do you think that mainstream media will ever release these documents, proof, the recordings, anything?
Well, absolutely. I mean, you're going to be able to sink your teeth into the documentary and walk away with it knowing what happened. And that's what's different about our project, is it's not theoretical in nature. It's factual in nature. And so what we're doing is explaining exactly what happened in these murders, unlike anything that's been done before that's speculative. So everybody should walk away from this saying, okay, well, at least I know what happened. Although, the caveat to that, though, is that nobody will ever be prosecuted for a variety of reasons.
You'll get to actually hear all the evidence in the film. So it's not a matter of waiting for the media to release it. We're going to release it in the movie.
That's what I'm talking about, man. Stepping up to the plate. We appreciate that. Us hip-hop fans out here that love Biggie and Tupac very much, we want justice for them and their families. I can say I really appreciate what you guys are doing. The conspiracy theories just confuse people a lot. And
we address some of the major conspiracy theories early in the film. You could make an entire film just debunking all the theories that are out there. But we do address some of the more commonly held ones and commonly believed theories. And it is it almost becomes kind of a joke, really, when you look at how hard at the evidence and how thin the evidence was, and how a lot of stuff that contradicted the theories was kind of withheld from the public. And I think people are going to walk away, at least in the first half of the movie, just shaking their heads at how easy it was to debunk some of those theories that have been out there now for almost 20 years.
And will there be physical copies of the DVDs, or will it be online for a while, or can you give us some information on that?
Yeah, there should be. I mean, they're right now they're looking at doing television deals first, so it'll probably be on one of the cable networks in the U.S. Mm-hmm. And I know they've already sold some television deals in some other territories, some other countries. And then down the line, then of course, iTunes and Netflix and DVD and all that stuff are almost definitely will happen. Yeah.
And right now, I'll be playing the audio from the official trailer, which can be found on YouTube.com. Search Murder Rap Inside the Biggie and Tupac Murders trailer. Please check them out. Like them on Facebook for information as it comes. We really appreciate this. This means a lot to KXCI here in Tucson, Arizona. Please share some of your links once again to the Facebook, YouTube, and all that.
Yeah, sure. It's MRAP Movie on Facebook, and then just look up Murder Rap on YouTube, and you'll find our trailer and everything. And that trailer, by the way, you'll hear some of the taped confession there in the trailer, some of that audio.
Thank you very much to Mike Dorsey and Detective Kading. I wish you much success and progress for the future. We really appreciate you.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for giving us some airtime.
Pleasure. It's been nice. Thank you.
12:35 a.m. 91.3 FM Tucson. Real people, real radio.
The murders of rap superstars Tupac Shakur and Biggie Smalls have been the subject of exhaustive investigations, relentless speculation, and a web of conspiracy theories and dark secrets. Now, for the first time, this is the riveting account of the task force that finally exposed the shocking truth behind the deaths of these two rap music icons, including interviews with detectives and witnesses never heard from before. With shocking evidence sourced from hundreds of police case files.
That was Tupac. No, he got shot.
Who besides yourself down there knows about these guys killing Tupac?
Pretty sure everybody around here knows about it.
And a taped confession never before shown on film.
Which of those four is it when you talk to him about murdering Tupac?
Like, man, we'll wipe their ass out quick. It's nothing. We were on the million. right there. This is perfect opportunity, baby.
I remember it was a white Cadillac.
Here they come in that BMW like Jane Carter.
What's wrong? We're man shot in our car right now.
And I ain't ever told nobody that story, man.
Murder Rap. Inside the Biggie and Tupac murders. Coming soon.